If you've looked at mini coaches at all, I know you've heard of the $1 Million Price List or the strategy, but unfortunately, I'm not here to give you that strategy today. Hang out anyway, though, because I'm talking about the exact strategy you need to implement to create a successful business for yourself. Hey, boudoir photographers! Are you ready to be totally booked out with high-paying clients? I'm Tracy Lynn, and I went from side hustle photographer to running a $1 million boudoir photography business, working just 30 hours a month. That's right, just 30 hours a month. On this podcast, I tell you how I did it and how you can too. Hello and welcome back. Today we're talking all about running a successful photography business using the quote $1 million strategy. And a lot of photography educators are talking about this strategy or the $1 million price list. It's a great marketing strategy. I mean, who doesn't want a $1 million photography business or a $1 million business in general, you know? But before we dive into this episode, I want to preface the entire thing with my real thoughts on if you need a $1 million business or not. Now, when I say $1 million strategy, I truly believe that I actually have it. My business hit 7 figures in 4 years, and in those 4 years, I was only working 30-hour months the majority of that time. Imagine if I worked 30-hour weeks instead. I could have easily hit $1 million in revenue in a year, but I didn't because I don't want to work my life away. I like spending my time with my pups and my horses, traveling full-time with my husband, and taking the day off at 2 p.m. to go drink margaritas at the Mexican restaurant in town. I just don't want to work all the time. That is not why I created my business. But that being said, I do think that if you use my strategy, you could absolutely revenue 7 figures in a year without issue. But you need to understand you're going to have to be photographing clients every workday of the year, and you're going to have a team to do it, which means not only are you photographing clients every day, but you're also being a manager and a boss. And you have to want to hustle. You have to want the commitment and want the money for the long term. Personally, I don't want to photograph more than 5 to 7 clients a month. I don't want to be in St. Louis any more than I have to. And side note, the OG listeners know, but I don't actually live in St. Louis, and I'm on the road traveling with my husband all the time, which is why I don't want to go to the studio that often. But even if I lived in the city, I just don't want to work like that. That's not why I created my business, and I think that you need to take that into consideration when you're building your business. Do you want to work that hard? Do you want to be that committed to your business? And if you do, that's great. Let's build your business the way you want. But if you don't want to work like that, you need to know before you get in over your head. I've had about 4 conversations in my DMs just this week about how these photographers want to make great money, as in 6 figures each year, but they don't want to work a crazy amount of hours or photograph a ridiculous number of clients to do it. I didn't start my business to have to work 24/7. I'm positive you didn't either. Time away from my studio is imperative for my happiness and my mental health. I love my photography clients. They're literally the best, but to me, freedom is more important. And it's all possible if you build your business in the right way. So let's talk about what you should prioritize in your business to run a successful photography business. Now, the first thing that you should prioritize in order to run a successful photography business are money goals that make sense for your business. No one else's business. I know a lot of photography educators prioritize high money goals or $1 million per year businesses, or even price lists that are guaranteed to bring in $1 million in revenue every year. That's great. Honestly, it's amazing. My question for you is, do you really need to make $1 million? Do you have the time and energy this business is going to require? Do you want to manage a team that this business model will need? I know I didn't want any of that except maybe the money, but that's why I prioritized my own goals so that I could be happy. So maybe you're wondering, what numbers should you prioritize to make sure you're running your business in the best way for you? Well, let's talk about that. Number 1, your salary goal, not your revenue goal. Literally, how much money do you want to pay yourself without thinking about 6 figures or 10K months or whatever your dream is or the educators are promoting online. Like, how much do you want to pay yourself? And number two, how many hours do you want to work? And that's it. Those two numbers are going to tell you how much money you need to bring in to pay yourself your salary, what your schedule looks like, what your sales average goal should be so you can actually hit your salary goal with the hours that you want to work. That's literally it. Really, it's just planning. The thing is, big money goals are awesome. They're great, they're cool, but really you need to make sure that your goals are based on what's best for you. And I know it's hard when you're seeing big revenue milestones in the Facebook groups you're in and you're thinking, what am I doing wrong? You're not doing anything wrong. You're running the right business for you. Stop worrying about those big wins and worry about what's best for your business. The second thing you should prioritize to run a successful photography business is the schedule that you want to work. And I mentioned it a little bit in my last point, but you can easily overwork yourself to the point of burnout. To bring in 7 figures, you have to work a lot, like a lot. If you have a $3,000 sales average, which is definitely possible with the right price list, you're still going to have to photograph 333 sessions every year. That means 27 to 28 clients a month. Imagine that burnout. To be honest, I'm burnt out just thinking about it. I work 1 day a month, 8 months a year, and that's it. And I still hit multiple 6 figures per year from my photography business alone. This education side is a totally separate business, and that means that I have 357 days a year to do whatever I want. Okay, sure. I do take some calls here and there with this schedule. So let's say that I actually don't work 350 days per year, but I still revenue 6 figures. That means that with that schedule, I'm working like 15 days a year total. That's total. And that's why I started the education side of my business, because I had time, but mostly because I wanted photographers to know that it doesn't have to be so hard. You don't have to work so much. You don't have to make the money that the other educators are actually promoting, because you don't have to. You literally don't have to work that hard. And why are we working so hard? Why are we working our life away? So tell me, Instagram message me at @ItsTracyLynn. Which business model sounds better to you? What sounds better for your life, your business, your family? Now, the third thing that you should prioritize in order to run a successful photography business is building an organic funnel. A lot of photographers might have a website, but mostly they just rely on social media to book out their schedule, mainly Instagram. And they're posting on stories, their feed, posting reels, but they're wondering why they can't get booked out. And to me, social media is exhausting. I'm on it, but it is not my priority. Instead, I created an organic marketing strategy that I have not had to touch in 3 years. Literally, my schedule stays booked with this organic funnel. I truly do not have to do any marketing anymore. And by the way, this strategy doesn't require paid ads or paid marketing. It is entirely organic and free. Now, the fourth thing that you should prioritize in order to run a successful photography business is making it easy for clients to book with you. I see a lot of photographers that create multiple steps in order to get a client booked out and ready for their session. I've seen them out there sending contracts, multiple reminders to clients to actually sign said contract, or sending invoices and even more reminders trying to get clients to actually pay their session fee. And when they don't, you've spent time with someone who was never going to follow through. You've wasted your time. So maybe someone gets upset when you cancel their session after they didn't sign the contract or pay the session fee. So you're dealing with that. The more steps you have, the less likely a client will be to actually follow through. We need to simplify everything. Think about it. How many times have you saw something that you thought about doing, like maybe buying a shirt on a Facebook ad or Instagram ad or something? Then when you get to the checkout screen, if your credit card isn't saved to your phone, you're like, well, I didn't want that bad anyway, and you just back out of the screen. I know that's how I am, at least, and that's what your clients are going to do if you're not making this booking a session as easy as possible. You have to make it simple. You have to make it easy if you want the client to actually book their session. If a client books with me, they sign the contract and pay the invoice up front. I'm not wasting my time tracking them down or hoping they actually follow through. They follow through immediately because that's how my business is set up. And the majority of the time, I don't even speak to my clients until I see them walk in my studio, yet they feel fully prepared for this session and like they know me before they even see me. And that's because everything is set up to be as automated, smooth, and efficient as possible and still make sure my clients feel loved on. If you only get one thing from this episode, I want you to know that you do not have to complicate your business. Sometimes we feel like being busy makes us successful, but that is not the case at all. And that's exactly why I created my program, Six Figures Simplified. It's a high-level group program and it's open for enrollment today, and I'm excited to welcome you in. So here's the thing. I've had several photographers asking me to create a group program to help them simplify and scale their business. So that's exactly what I did. This is the exact method I take my private coaching clients through, except it's a group program and about a quarter of the price of private coaching. In this program, we're covering the 6FS system, and the first step of that is to simplify your business. We've kind of talked about this today, but we're going even more in depth in this program. So we're going to create ease in your business so you have more time to find and book clients and give them an amazing experience. So there's 6 trainings total in this module, and we're covering accounting, spreadsheets, keeping your business healthy, sustainable, profitability, contracts, and even software. And then we're also covering pricing and scheduling so that you can photograph the amount of sessions that you want and make a lot of money while you do it. The next module is to simplify your sessions. So we're learning exactly how to run your entire client experience with ease while still making those high sales, creating beautiful art, and keeping everything organized and streamlined. So in these 11 trainings, we're going to talk a little bit about photography, like posing, lighting, stuff like that. But the majority of this is making sure that you have step-by-step processes to simplify your schedule, simplify your sessions, and make it where you can replicate your sessions every time, go into your sessions with a plan so that you can make those high sales, 4-figure, 5-figure session sales every single time. And then the third module is all about simplifying your marketing. I share my set it and forget it marketing strategy with step-by-step trainings to ensure your marketing works for you. There's tons of swipe files, templates, and so much more. So we're going through the 6FS marketing method, websites, fast cash strategies, and how to stay booked out. There are literally 20 trainings in this module. It is jam-packed with so much information. And then on top of that, I'm covering my scale to 6 figures method. So your foundations are in place. Your business is running like a well-oiled machine. Clients are booking with ease because your marketing is working so well. Your sessions are smooth as glass. How do you get to that next level? This is where the scale to 6 figures method comes in. There's 5 trainings. We're talking outsourcing, analytics, protecting your business in case of a tragedy, how to create your standard operating procedures, and even if you need to hire an associate photographer, exactly how to do that. But on top of that, there's going to be 12 calls in 6 months, which is 2 calls per month. They're scheduled to make sure that it works for the whole group, so you'll vote on days and times that fit your schedule. So if you're thinking, well, I may not be able to make this work, so I don't want to invest in this, I'm going to make sure that it works for everyone so that we can all attend these trainings. There's also a private Facebook group, and it is just going to be jam-packed with so much information. Those implementation calls are going to help you skyrocket your business. So if you have any questions, be sure to message me on Instagram at @IsTracyLynn. If you're ready to join, the link is in the episode description. So go ahead and join and let's get started. But like I said, if you have any questions at all, if you're wondering if this is right for you, message me on Instagram at @IsTracyLynn and I can chat with you to see if you're actually a good fit for this, or if something else in my product suite works better, or if the way that I teach is just not a good fit for you. I'm going to make sure that you know that this investment is right for you before you even jump in. So just message me over there on Instagram and I will be more than happy to chat. Thank you for listening to this episode of Sustainable Freedom with Boudoir Photography. Please be sure to rate and follow so that you never miss an episode. They drop every Thursday and they're always full of super actionable information for you to apply right now in your boudoir business. Until then, make your next shoot your best shoot.